Yes, it's that time for another video. Today, we're talking about the home appraisal. Coming up in 3, 2, 1. Oh, you're still here. Okay, good. We are talking about appraisals today, and I get it. You know, it's not the most exciting topic to talk about sometimes because frankly, I get bored talking about them and dealing with them and waiting on them, which is what we're going to discuss in this video. So if you're new here, welcome to the Greater Nixa Homes YouTube channel. Before we go any further, make sure you hit that subscribe button, click us a like, leave us a comment down below, and tell me how I'm doing on my jokes. All right, so the home appraisal. This is basically what it all comes and boils down to at the end of your escrow period. We're waiting on that stinking home appraisal every single time. Let's just kind of break it down a little bit from beginning to end. Now, when you write the contract, you're typically, if you're going to get a loan, it's going to have to be contingent on the property appraising for at or above the purchase price. If it appraises for above the purchase price, then you've got what you call equity in the home before you get the keys. You know, you've already bought a home that's worth 150, or you agreed to pay 150 and it actually appraised for 155. So now you've got $5,000 worth of equity built into your home the day that you get your keys, which is nice. Does it happen a whole lot? Not from what I've seen in my experience. I haven't been in the business for 25, 30, 40 years or anything, but this is generally what I see that goes on with home appraisals in our market here in Southwest Missouri. So what I want you to understand is there's 2 dates that you really need to be focused on when you write your contract: your appraisal deadline and your loan contingency deadline. Your loan contingency deadline basically is the day that you need final approval of your loan from your lender, which he cannot provide to you without that appraisal also being in the file and approved by the underwriter. So you generally want that to be 1 or 2 days apart from each other so that you have some time to get the appraisal in, review it. And then if you need to, let's just go down that road for a second. If the home did not appraise, then it doesn't mean that the deal's dead. You get to renegotiate with the seller and ask them, hey, you know, it only appraised for 99 and we agreed to pay 100. Will you drop the purchase price down 1,000? You can ask. It doesn't mean they're going to do it. If they don't agree to do it, then if you really love the home and you want to move forward on the deal, then they're gonna ask that you bring that extra $1,000 to closing. It just adds on to your closing cost, right? If you don't, as long as you back out and submit notice in writing within your contingency deadline, you're good. You get your earnest money back, no harm, no foul. We start the whole deal over with another house. But that's generally how that works. Now, what I also want you to be aware of is that the appraiser has nothing to do with you personally. You're not going to be able to pick out a certain appraiser that you know in the business. The lender cannot specifically choose an appraiser. They just order off of a random third-party company. They place an order, and then all these different appraisers are available to pick up that order. Now, it just depends on who picks up that order. They might have 10 other appraisals that they picked up prior to yours, and they're going to do them in the order that they picked them up. So in a hot market, when there's tons of real estate transactions going on, you're at the mercy of the appraiser that picks up your order and their schedule. And sometimes they're really good at communicating with the realtor and the lender, and sometimes they're just not. Again, this is my experience here in Southwest Missouri. We are typically a lot of times waiting for that appraisal to come in last minute. So if you can write the contract and give a little extra time if it works for everybody and make it not come down to the wire, that takes a lot of the stress off of everyone when you can give some reasonable timelines for everybody. So all parties are communicating with the appraiser, trying to stay in touch with them, making sure that you're able to understand when that appraisal is going to be in. If you are getting pretty close to the deadline and you have a realtor that's watching those timelines, that's going to help you win. Whether or not you need to make a tough decision and walk away, or, you know, if you're able to renegotiate with the seller and keep the deal together, you know, these are important things that you're going to want your realtor to be able to do for you in regards to the appraisal. All right, so sellers, this little part's for you. If you're on the sell side and you're discussing listing your property $40,000 above the comps, that's great and all. It's might be likely that a cash buyer might come along and sweep up your home and does not care about market value at all. And they're just going to pay $40,000 over what everybody else has been paying for homes like yours. It could happen. But generally, people, even with cash, still care about market value, and appraisals still matter. You know, the general part of your buyer pool that's going to be buying your house is probably going to need to get a loan, and it all rides on the opinion of that appraiser. Now, I will say, if you get 3 appraisers that go out to a property and they each have nothing to do with each other, you're probably going to get 3 different opinions of value. Now, they should be pretty well in line with your realtor whenever you decide, whatever your list price is or whatever they originally suggested that you list the property at. They're not going to be astronomically far apart. But that's just generally what I see right now, is that a lot of times the appraiser will have a completely different opinion than another one. I've done a couple of different deals where we've had to get a second opinion. We had to pay for another appraisal, and they're really not all that far apart. They're going to be using the same approach, and that's the sales comparison approach. So let's talk about that just real quick. You know, if it's a new construction home, you might be using the cost approach. The appraiser will be using the cost of the building materials, you know, to actually build that home up from new. You know, that's called the cost approach. Now, the sales comparison approach is what we as realtors use and what appraisers are generally going to use to come up with the market value of your home. And that's just what other comps in the area have been selling for recently. Not last year, not 2 years ago, but I'd say in the last 6 months. What is the market currently doing? So you have to be in tune with that as a seller, and knowing that, you know, if Joe down the street underlisted his house in your opinion, and you think yours is superior, every seller thinks their home is more superior than everybody else's. But you have to list it in line with what an appraiser will most likely come up with as the market value as well. So just want you to kind of know how we arrive at that as realtors and how appraisers arrive at market value. It's all about the same. We're all looking at the same comps. Whether or not you agree with the comps, that's for another video. All right, that's gonna wrap it up for this one. I hope that was helpful for you guys. I know that was a lot. I don't even know what this video is gonna run out to, but I hope if you made it to the end, congratulations, all right? Thanks for watching, you guys. I'm Jason with Greater Nixa Homes, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Like Jason's opinions over.